Okay, everyone, hope you're doing well. Today we are going to do the revision of chapter number 1, that is called Nature, Scope and Objective of Auditing. Okay, very simple chapter, very scoring one. I always keep telling this to the students who are learning audit that chapter number 1, 2, 6 and 11 should be made very, very strong. These can give you excellent marks in the examination, and these are very easy chapters to control first. So at the beginning you should cover chapter number 1, 2, 6 and 11. These are the simple areas in auditing. After that you can go to the much more conceptually heavy or the lengthier chapters which are there. Okay, let's start with this one. That is chapter number 1, that is nature, objective and scope of auditing. Let's start first. What is the meaning of auditing? Auditing is nothing but an independent examination of any entity, whether it is profit oriented or not, irrespective of its size or legal form. Correct? In auditing, the auditor's main job is to express an opinion through a written report, and that report, as you know, is we give the audit report as per SA 700. So the reporting we do as per SA 700. Simple. That is the meaning of auditing. Let's go further. What is the origin of auditing? In this, you can just go through it, but the main key area which I feel can come in the exam is this part. The word audit originates from the Latin word audire, which means to hear. So this you should know. Okay, this can come in MCQs. Let's go further. Is auditing mandatory or voluntary? See, for the companies, auditing is compulsorily required because it is a requirement under the Companies Act. But for other non-corporate, auditing can be compulsory depending on the, let's say, the tax laws. Okay. Even if you think about, let's say, any charitable institution or any NGO, it is not compulsory to get the audit done. But if you get the audit done, then the accounts, can be relied upon in a much better manner. Okay. Let's go further. Let's see this. What are the various qualities of an auditor? This code I had given in the class, a very simple one just to remember quickly. You have to remember trick. Trick is what? Auditor should have tact, reliability, integrity, caution. Okay. I just want to give a disclaimer here that this video is for the purpose of revision only. In this, I'm not teaching any concept in depth. Okay. So the teaching that we do is normally in the class, and that we do in depth properly we do. But in this case, we are just, looking at the key terms or the main points, just like that. We are just looking at it so that there is a quick revision that can be done at your end. Okay. So tact, reliability, integrity, caution. Then you have with C, D, E, F, G, you have clear-headedness, discretion, firmness, good temper. Then you have JP, that is judgment and patience. The auditor should have qualities of a good businessman. In that, they have said the auditor should have culture of attaining the heights. The auditor should have integrity, independence. He should uh, respect the trust that the shareholders have put on him. He should do the required training. Auditor should have accounting knowledge, and which is sine qua non, means it is necessary. Okay, let's go further. Who appoints the auditor? In the case of non-government companies, the auditor is appointed by the members in the AGM. In case of government companies, the auditor is appointed by the Comptroller and Auditor General of India. In case of partnership firms and LLP, the partners appoint the auditor, and as per any law, the government may also appoint the auditor to get the audit done. Okay. To whom is the report of the auditor submitted to? The auditor report submits his report in the case of companies to the members, in the case of partnership firm and LLP to the partners. Okay. Let's go to the next point. That is basically the relationship of auditing with other disciplines. In this, we did the job to CA journey. When you are in that journey till you get a job. So this story we are done. So first we see you in CA Foundation. You do the subjects of statistics, accounts, law, and economics. In CA Inter, you do financial management. Then you do your articleship. There you get to meet people, so you understand the behavior of people. That's called behavioral science. Then after that, suppose you enter in, you clear, give your CA final, and you clear. After that, you are appointed in a company that does the job of data processing, and finally you join a job where the company is involved in production. Okay, so like that you can easily remember the points. Let's go further. What are the inherent limitations of auditing? This is what we did in the class. Very simple. It is your relative uncle story or the fraud uncle story, if you remember. Okay, what is the fraud uncle story? Very simple. First of all, nature of financial reporting, nature of audit report or audit procedures. Then after that, you will realize that your work is not done, so you sleep without studying these two subjects. So complete information is not available. Then you look at the timeliness of financial reporting. After that, an uncle comes inside your house. You open the door, so your uncle comes inside the house. Door hits the suitcase falls down, so you understand that is cost benefit analysis. Then after that, you have the next point, that is uncle says I've done fraud, police is investigating, and finally uncle hides inside the washing machine, and you remember that this is your uncle hide at 3 a.m. and he's going to come out of the washing machine at 8 a.m. That is future events or conditions. Okay, so we had done this story called a fraud uncle story. I think surely all the students will remember the story. Very very simple story also. Okay, so that is what we had done. Next area. What are the objectives of the auditor? Auditor's objective is to reach the RA level. That is a high level of assurance. Auditor's objective is also to report as per the standards on auditing, as per a format given in SA 700. That is the job of the auditor. Let's go to the next one. That is, what is the scope of auditing? Very, very simple area. Now, in scope of auditing, we are done in this way that the auditor should cover all aspects in relation to the financial statements. The financial should be made with reliability and sufficiency with underlying data, that is, the books of accounts should be there in place. The financial should be properly disclosed, that is, the management judgments, accounting policies, the disclosure should be adequate, the disclosure should be summarized, it should be complying with the statutory requirements. All these things should be fulfilled. Okay. In this case, I had given the example of, when my daughter was born, I had given you an example where I had sent a message to my relatives, but the disclosure was not enough because I should have revealed more information. Okay, so this story I discussed with you all in the class. Next is what scope of audit does not include in that you are not expected to perform duties which are out of your competence. So basically, if suppose if you're looking at a building, you're not supposed to um, tell the life of the building with preciseness because the life of the building knowing the life of the building is not your job because that is the job of some civil engineer. Okay, so that is because it is out of your competence, it becomes automatically out of your scope. The auditor is not an expert in authentication of documents. He will not know which documents are original, which documents are fake. Auditing is not an official investigation. In auditing, your main aim is to obtain reasonable assurance level, whereas in investigation, your main aim is to do critical examination with a special purpose. That is the main aim. Okay. Let's go further. Very simple area. That is basically this part. So this is auditor should satisfy himself regarding which matter. So this is this question. Auditor should satisfy himself regarding which matters. And here the diagram is also pretty simple for this. Auditor should see whether the books of accounts are properly made or not. So you'll understand this point here that the books of accounts should have proper entry should be made in the books of accounts. Second thing, the auditors will see whether the books of accounts are made in such a way that there is no omission. See, none of the entries have been omitted. So auditor will check that. Auditor will see whether books of accounts are providing information that is providing sufficient and appropriate evidence to the company. Okay. So you understand the entries we will check. We will check whether it is providing sufficient appropriate evidence, whether there is any no omission in that. Financial statement should be clear and unambiguous. Financial statement should be um, should have conformity with the accounting standard. That is basically this conformity with the accounting standards. And last but not the least, the financial statement should give a true and fair picture. True and fair picture. Okay. Simple diagram is there. You can easily do it. This we had done it in the class. Okay, let's go further. What is an engagement? So whenever a client appoints a CA to do the work, that is called as an engagement. So when the client appoints a CA to do auditing work, that is called auditing engagement. As simple as that. So it's an arrangement to do something. In the context of auditing, it means a formal agreement. Agreement means a contract between the auditor and the client, under which the auditor agrees to provide auditing services. And it takes the shape of something called as engagement letter. So engagement letter is basically the agreement between the client and the auditor that the client will pay the fees to the auditor and the auditor will do the audit and he'll provide his auditing services. Now we have done something called the benefits of auditing. Very very simple area. Now in benefits of auditing, no. Now my Mumbai students and my Bangalore students, the points are the same, but this song got originated in Bangalore, and my dear student, his name is Anirudh. He made this AE. After I taught this answer, I had given a break to the students. So in the break, I saw him that he is sitting in the class and he was just sitting in the earlier benches and he was singing some song. So I just asked him, Anirudh, what are you singing? So he told me, sir, I'm just trying to make a song out of this. We make so many songs. So I'm just trying to make a song in relation to this answer. So I just asked him, okay, what tune are you thinking about? So he told me, sir, that DDLJ song is there, no? Tujhe dekha to ye jana sanam. So sir, that can fit very properly in this. So I asked him, okay, let's go for it, just try. And then he and I just remolded the song a little bit. Okay. Now what happened in Bangalore, we created the initial version of the song. I just taught the students in Bangalore then and there itself. As soon as the break got over, I taught them the song. I told that Anirudh gave this amazing tune. And in Mumbai, I had to change the song to some extent so that it is easier for the students to remember. There is a better flow to the song, okay? But students who are in Bangalore for May 24, there's the revision that is important for you. So I'll just sing the song with our original tune. Safeguard financial interest, detects fraud or errors relied by banks for credit decisions, high quality information, moral check on employees from committing frauds, controls, gives confidence to FS users, determining tax liabilities. The song goes in this tune. Okay, this is the original version of it. Now the latest version which is there, which is having a separate tune. Okay, so it goes like this: safeguard financial interest, detect fraud or error relied by banks for credit decisions, high quality information, confidence to users controls, moral check on employees from committing frauds, determining tax liabilities. It goes in this tune. So there are just two versions which are it. You can hear whichever version you prefer, but ensure that you get the marks in the examination. That is the main goal. Okay, let's go further. Let's see it. That is this answer. This is the answer in relation to benefits of auditing. Okay, let's go further. Now we are doing something called as assurance engagement. In this, I'll first explain. Assurance engagements basically is a arrangement between, there are three parties involved in this. Okay, so first is called as a responsible party, second is called as a practitioner, and the third is called as the intended user. Okay, practitioner basically means a client. So whenever the client tells you the work to be done, that is the subject matter, the work to be done. Example, the client is appointing you to make a report on the financial statement, or the client may appoint you to make a report on the internal controls, and he gives this work to the practitioner. The practitioner will keep some benchmark in mind, and that benchmark is called suitable criteria. Example, to make the report on financial statement, I have to compare the company's financial statements with something, and that with something is called as a benchmark. So what am I comparing the financial statements with is called as a benchmark. That benchmark is called suitable criteria, and in this case, for the reporting on FS, I will take AFRF as the benchmark. I'll take AFRF means applicable financial reporting framework, that is Schedule 3 plus AS currently in India. I'll take that as the benchmark. Suppose I'm making the report on internal control. So what will I take as the benchmark? I'll take the company's policies on internal control as a benchmark. So that will be my major benchmark with which I'll compare the company's performance with. Okay. After this is done, when I do this, I'll prepare a written assurance report in appropriate form, that is format, and that is given by the practitioner, that is this person, and this he will give it to the intended users, the people who are going to use this report. Example, our audit report, I'll give it to the shareholders, and the shareholders can then take confident decisions. Confident decisions basically means they are buying of the shares decision, they are selling of the shares decision, or holding on to some shares decision that they can take. Simple. That is basically this assurance engagement. So you can now understand. See, assurance engagement enhances the degree of confidence of intended users about outcome of evaluation or measurement of subject matter against the criteria. Subject matter is the work that you're doing, and criteria is the benchmark against which it will be compared with. Okay. Let's go further. Now we enter the very important part, that is in relation to audit versus review. Okay. In audit versus review, you have to understand that in audit, your main goal is to reach the RA level, and in review, your main goal is to reach the LA, limited assurance level. When do you reach R level normally? So an example can be checking of the financial statements of the entity. You're trying to reach reasonable assurance here. And regarding the limited assurance, that example can be checking of the interim financial statements of the entity. That is limited assurance. Now you'll understand. Reasonable assurance is a high level of assurance. The best level of assurance is called absolute assurance level. This is the best level of assurance. When you reach this level here, that is 100% evidence you have obtained. But in auditing, because there are inherent limitations, you cannot reach the AA level. So you compromise and you reach the R level here. Limited assurance is even lesser than R level. That is here. That is even lesser than the R level. So you understand, in R level, you are reaching a high level of assurance, but for that, you have to do elaborate and extensive procedures. Basically, hard work is more. In limited assurance, you are going to reach a moderate level of assurance. That is why you have to do something which I call it as fewer procedures. You have to do lesser procedures here. Finally, the auditor can draw reasonable conclusions in this case, and in this case, the auditor can only draw limited conclusions. So, if they ask you any distinguish between, you have to keep this diagram in mind, and you can easily get the answer done. And distinguish between can come like this in the examination. In my opinion, it is a very, very important matter. I think to all my students who have taught for the upcoming examination, uh, this I must have marked as star, and I would have told you that do this properly. It's an important one. Okay, I'm expecting this question, by the way, so do it properly. Next is let's go ahead. Then we enter into this part. Now, what are the various type of engagements the auditor can enter into with the client? Okay, so there is a blanket expression, overall expression called as assurance engagements, something called as assurance engagements. Now, assurance engagement basically means what? Assurance engagement means auditor is just providing an assurance to a third party regarding what the client has done. So, client means the company. So, the company is appointing you to do the audit work or the review work or the assurance work. All these three get covered in something called as assurance engagement. So, if you're doing audit work, also audit is a type of assurance engagement, review is a type of assurance engagement, and assurance, of course, is a type of assurance engagement. Now, in audit, what is the procedure here? In while doing audit, you are checking the historical financial data, and historical financial information you are checking, and you are checking it using standards on auditing. You are basically seeing whether the company has complied with their accounting standards properly, and that checking of accounting standards you will be doing by applying standards on auditing. Your main goal is to reach the RA level. Your main goal is to reach the RA level in this case. That is why you do audit, you apply standards on auditing, and you try to reach the RA level, and you check something called as historical financial data, historical financial information. You check this data here. Okay. Next is called review. Review, you apply standards called as standards on review engagements, and you try to reach the LA level. Basically, you try to reach the LA level. In this also, you're telling the client, you're checking the data of the client, and you're informing some outside parties. When you do this, again, you check something called as historical financial information. So what is the basic difference between these two? In one, you're reaching the RA level, in the other, you're reaching the LA level. And RA level, as I just told you, it is a high level of assurance, and LA level is a moderate level of assurance. For reaching RA level, you have to do more work. For reaching LA level, you have to do less work. Next is, what is assurance now? So assurance basically means when you are giving a report to a third party, but that report to a third party, when you're giving it, you're applying standards on assurance engagements. Now, in this, you are reporting regarding the client's internal control, maybe. So, you're not checking the historical data, you are checking the data which is in present. So, basically, you're checking the internal control at today's time, at present, and you're commenting regarding the client's internal controls. When you're doing that, you're giving assurance to the third parties who have invested in the clients, example, shareholders. That is called as assurance engagement. Okay, that is called assurance means assurance work you're doing. So whenever you're giving assurance, it can be regarding internal control. One more example can be prospective financial statement. Example, based on today's data, I'm predicting the company's next 5 years financial statement of 5 years, a future, how it is going to be. I'm commenting on that. When I'm doing that, I'm giving something called a prospective financial statement. Again, I'm using the data in at present and commenting on the future. I'm using the data at present and commenting on the future. When I do that, I'm not relying on the historical past data. I'm relying on data which is there at present. This is called assurance. In all these three, you are making a report for someone else. The person who has appointed you, you are not reporting it to them, you are reporting it to someone else, so it is helpful for them, the other party. So this is called audit, review, and assurance. These are called assurance engagements. Assurance engagements. Okay. Now, let's go further. What are the other work that CA does? CA can act as an accountant. So in that case, CA is providing related services that are called standard on related services. CA can apply something called as quality control in his own organization so that he can work properly. Keeping in mind something called as elements of system of quality control, which we'll see in depth when you do chapter number 11 revision. But just to tell that in quality control, your 6 elements are basically leadership responsibilities, ethical requirements, acceptance and continuance of client relationship, human resources, engagement performance, and monitoring. So for this, the CH has to follow something called as standards on quality control. Okay, this you should know very very well. Okay, that completes the major areas of this chapter. All the students, you have shown me great love and you have ensured that you are motivating by passing comment in the comment section, liking the videos. All this is very very important. This when when faculty is put on YouTube, that can be me or any other faculty whose lecture you watch on YouTube. Whenever we get comments saying that, thank you sir, this really helped. Thank you sir, this helped me in my studies. Sir, this helped my reduce my revision time. Sir, I could easily watch this during traveling. So thank you for that. Or any feedback that you have, or any other series that you want me to create. Please ensure that you are typing into the comment section below. Please like the video if you like it. This acts as a motivation. You feel like doing more for the students then. Okay. I wish you all the best. Study well. Take care. Bye.